Hello fellow AstroFluxers. This video has been a long time coming, part 2 of my art ramblings. I hope everything is going great with all of you. Vorsran has been released. At least that's how I think you say it. Vorsran, right? I could be wrong. Anyways, Vorsran has been released and it has given us access to lots of high level arts above 100, above 110, above 120. I have been keeping a ton of arts over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I would like to go through some of them, clean up some of my old arts, and maybe talk about some of what I'm looking for specifically when I'm going through my arts. Okay, so I've been collecting some arts. I'm at art limit right now. I'm way over my normal capacity of what I'd like to keep. I'm going to go ahead and go through all of these arts real quick. And when I'm done, if I've kept any, I'll show you. I'll also tell you what I'm looking for in this video. I'm looking for 2 lines or more of damage arts. I'm also looking for hybrid arts. Hybrid arts are categories in which there are 2 things on it, like this art, for instance. This is 95.2% shield with negative 90.5% shield to 150% HP. That is a hybrid art. It's giving me 2 values that I can use in one art instead of using 2 arts to gain that value. And that's what I'm going to go through and look at. Like, here's another one that I'm currently using on just this setup. I have 7.1% reduced cooldown with 39% and 12% health with 14% energy damage. The setup that you currently see on screen I was using in co-op. I was just testing it out, seeing how it would work, and actually it wasn't too bad. I survived until rank 10 before my game crashed. So now I'm going to go ahead and get to revealing these arts, and I'll talk to you when I'm done. Alright, so I just kept 3 arts. Will I actually keep them in the long run? I'm not sure. I kept them for review, which I'm going to compare them to my current arts. So the 3 that I just kept was a 99.7% corrosive damage. It's a one-liner. That's most probably going to get recycled, but I want to compare it to what I currently have. Then I also kept 130% increased maximum power. That's a one-liner as well. And then I have this 2-liner here. And these arts they're not something that I would necessarily normally keep because it's just 1 line of increased maximum power. I will most probably recycle both of these arts because they're just not, I mean, yes, increased maximum power, that's wonderful, but if it was increased by 100% with energy damage, that would be something to look for. If it had rate of fire or shield or something to help my ship out, it would be wonderful. Basically, these arts are probably just going to get pretty much recycled. I just kept them to see to compare them to what I currently have. So let's go ahead and do that. Those are power capacitors. And my highest that I've kept is 145.3. I really don't need to keep these single lines, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my lowest one here. See what I was talking about? Now this one's a hybrid. It's at 91%, but also has 3.1 increased power regen. That's a keeper in my mind. Will I ever use it? I don't know. It's one of those things where I might have a use for it down the line, but I don't have a use for it now, so it's just going to sit there. And I can go ahead and get rid of this one And was that the one I just kept? Yeah, that's only like 119%. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that one away. And 130, and I'll keep my 145 for just the heck of it. So I'll just clean up my arts. Now I just saved myself 4 arts. And now I'm going to go down the line here, but you can see my next art here. This is a perfect example of a hybrid art. This is 28% to all damage, 62% increased max power, plus 6% corrosive damage. Again, it's one of these questions, will I use this art? And the answer is, I don't know. I could someday have a setup where I'd actually use this. And that's the kind of thing that you kind of have to ask yourself every time you go through and try to clean up your arts. Will I ever actually use this art? And if the answer is maybe, then you keep it. But if the answer is like no, or I don't think so, then get rid of it, because all it's doing is just taking up room. As you know, I was just in co-op with this setup. My normal setup that I play with 90% of the time with this shadow, at least in Force-Ran I should say, is this setup. I go with an energy-based setup, and what I'm currently looking for this setup is an energy damage with shield percent. If I could find something like that, that would be dynamite for this setup. And I've come close, but it's with 81% energy damage with conversion, 68%, and this has not even been upgraded. If I upgrade this, the problem with upgrading this art, it lies in that negative 80 or 68%. I don't want that to go over negative 90%. And when I upgrade this has a high chance of going above that. And if I ever upgrade this art, that's one of those things. I might find a better art, and that's the issue that's going on right now with Force-Ran, is that there are such good arts out there right now in Force-Ran that it is extremely hard to keep and understand what you're going with. And like this art right here, this is a Force-Ran art. Look at all that shield on it, and then I have 38% energy damage. Now, what I'm really looking for is the same caliber of shield but with higher energy damage. Because right now I'm rocking 145.3% energy damage on this setup, and remember, this shadow ship, comes with 200% energy damage already. So I'm doing a ton of damage. I'm doing 345% energy damage with the ship bonus. Plus I'm rocking, of course, I like to say that apparently. Apparently, and I'm also doing 126% increased attack speed. And the reason why it's a lower amount of attack speed is because I also have this wonderful art that I found last year sometime that has 2 attack speeds on it plus energy damage. This is another kind of art I'm looking for, as a hybrid art that has rate of fire and damage on it. And these arts are highly coveted by me, and I know they've got to be coveted by other people, is to find those hybrid arts that are perfect for builds like this. Instead of doing something like this, where I just have one line of damage, one thing of resist, one line of damage. In this build, there's damage and I'm doing shield conversion. There's shield and damage. There's rate of fire and damage. Now I'm just got resist and just rate of fire. But 3 arts out of this build are all using hybrid arts. And that's my focus, is trying to find those perfect hybrid arts. And it's a hit or miss. So right now, let's go ahead and go into my energy damage. I've been stockpiling. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of energy arts that I just need to go through and look at and get rid of the ones I know I'll never use. So let's start at the top. Apparently I'm using both of these because they both were highlighted. So I can't get rid of one of those. Well, I wouldn't get rid of them because it's part of my top 5. And what's my rule? Keeps your top 5 highest arts. So let's see, that's my highest, which is 138.5. And then my second highest, which is calculator, 78. We'll just do some rounding real quick. It's 122%. This art is one of those ones I kept because it looked awesome, but on further review, it really just it hurt to look at it again. It's like, why did I keep this art? It's got that wonderful 91% energy damage plus 16% at the bottom. But when you get to the middle value, that 32.6 kinetic flat, that ultimately will hurt the upgrades on this art. I will keep this art for right now, but ultimately I probably will recycle it. Let's go on down the line. This is a perfect hybrid art. It's got energy damage, shield, and health. Not the highest, but it's great. It's a level 127. Probably kill the Vindicator for this in Vorsran. Great art. And this is the kind of thing that I can throw away. I can go ahead and recycle this flat 106%. It's a wasted art. It's just a flat nothing. And here's another one. Let's see, this is 2 lines at 105. I'll keep it only because it has 2 lines. And we'll get rid of that one, that one. Well, look at all these ones I can get rid of. And now we've got a hybrid art. This is another good example of a hybrid art. It's got that energy damage on it. It's not that, it doesn't go over 100%, but it's got that 27.6% increased maximum power. It's one of those ones that I'll keep for review even later. And I can get rid of that one, this one. Even though this one has 5 upgrades on it, I'm going to get rid of it because really it's 90%. This art already beats this art by a lot, so let's just get rid of it. This one, a perfect example of what I've been looking for, and I didn't even know I had it because I haven't done a review. Look at this art. I've got 86% energy damage plus, that's how much is that? It's 61.9. That's 125% shield. This is a great hybrid art. This is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Let's keep going on down the line here. Another great example of a hybrid art to keep. Now this is dual damage. It's got the 80% energy damage and 50% corrosive damage. I don't use energy and corrosive weapons, but someday I might. It's one of those maybes. Let's keep going down the line here. These are all hybrids, it looks like, at the end here. I think that's good for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and recycle those arts. So I just recycled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 arts that I've been able to free up in my list. So how many, what is my goal? I want to get this number here, this 248. I want to trim that down to at least 200, maybe even 175. Because having more than 175, having more than 200 arts that you keep, that's a lot of arts. I could even go lower if I wanted to, but Vorsran is so new that it's really hard to know what the average keeper is that you're going to get from Vorsran, at least for me. So let's move on now to maybe Kinetic. Oh, what was that sorting? There we go. This is my highest Kinetic art. just to get a baseline. That's 130%, 130.4%. That's my baseline. So that's my highest. And look at the numbers on that. That was a level 91 with a potential of 83. That art was probably found in Fulzer somewhere. It probably Citus or something. I don't even know. I would have to check the encounter list to find out what a level 83 is. Not a very high level art, but I got 130% out of it. That's amazing. And look, a single line. Since this is my second highest art at 127 with 0 upgrades, I'm going to keep it. And this one looks like I'm currently upgrading it, but I put all upgrades to halt since Force Run came out. So this art, I'm going to keep it only because it's got 7 upgrades on it and it might do better. This is maxed out. I can most probably get rid of this art. Whoops, let's press recycle. It's a single line, 118. It's probably not going to beat this 130. And it's a single line. If it had shield or health on it, I would keep it. 119 or 110 with that. Yeah, I'll throw it away. 108, I'll throw it away. I'll throw this one away. Let's throw that one away. Look at all these I can just throw away. This has 1 upgrade. Now let's get rid of it. And this one has 3 lines. Oh, but what ruined this art was that 10.3 flat corrosive damage. It just really wasn't meant to be in this art, honestly. I think I kept this probably to do a review later and ultimately knew I was going to get rid of it, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and erase that art. That 10.3 corrosive in there ruined this art. It ruined because what's going to happen is when you start to upgrade it, that flat will take up most of the values on the upgrade. And it's just terrible when that happens. You're just wasting your time when you're trying to upgrade something like that. That's a one-liner. Not worth it. I'm not even sure why I kept it. Probably because it was just a 2-line kinetic damage art. The flat energy is not helping, and that flat 1,100 health is not helping. It's just not a good thing. And the same issue again, except this is all kinetic now. This is a little bit different. This is all kinetic. Should I keep it? Should I not? I probably should get rid of it, and I'm going to. But if that bottom value of 12.3 flat was anything above 75, I would put this as a maybe. But since it's so low, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. And again, all these flats are gone. This is a 3-liner. 3-liners tend to upgrade pretty well. What's our max on it? We're looking at 85.9. I'm going to go ahead and keep it. This thing might upgrade to 130%. We never know. And same problem again with that art from before. I've got 3 lines of kinetic damage, but I have that 36.6 flat in there. I'm going to keep it for right now. I'll probably erase it later. And now we've got into that wonderful land of hybrid arts. This has got 36.2% kinetic damage in 2 lines, and then 115% shield regen. This would be a great art to use in a shield regen build where you're just, the whole ship is just a shield and you're just doing regen. It'd be something that I would consider using. Don't know if I'll ever use it, but I'll consider it. Same with this. This has got armor on it and kinetic damage. Perfect. Keeping it. I'm going to keep it because it's got interesting stats. And now we're getting into dual damage, 62% corrosive damage and a ton of kinetic. I'll keep it just because there's a possibility someday that I might use this. And same issue, except I can probably get rid of this one. It's a little lower, plus it's You know what? It's a tough call. Seems like I got a lot of those, the corrosive ones. This is one of the 127% shield with 44% kinetic damage. Good art. Would I use it? That's the question. I don't know. I'm going to keep it for right now. I probably might erase it later. Now we've got attack speed with kinetic damage. It's kind of petering out now. I probably should get rid of some of these, but now it's the values are getting strange. So I'm going to go ahead and recycle that, and we might get rid of those arts that I haven't really gotten, X'd out in another category later on. So I've just cleaned up my energy and my kinetic arts. Now let's go to corrosive. Which one is it? The inducer? Yes, it's the inducer. Now my max on my corrosive. And don't get fooled by reading this wrong. There is a resist in there. It's 126 is my max on corrosive. This single line, I probably should just get rid of it because it's really not going to do anything for me. It's already max upgraded at 116. I've got a 2-liner here. Tough call. I'm going to go ahead and keep it for right now. Let's get rid of these low 1-liners. Don't need them. Same deal as before. These 1-liners are really not that great. But you keep a 2-liner, now that's 100% right there, a little over 100%. Right? Am I doing math right? Yeah, 102%, yeah. So that's a 2-line, 102% art. I'm going to keep it. It could upgrade to something great. That's why I'm keeping it. But these 1-liners at 99.7%, it's just not worth the time to upgrade a 1-liner. And I probably kept these because I was like, oh, look, it's a high corrosive. I'll just go ahead and keep it and then maybe get rid of it later. And that's exactly what I'm doing, is I'm getting rid of it later. You're watching me do it. Look at all these 1-liners that I've been finding. This is a 2-liner, but it's got that kinetic damage on it. It's flat. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. What do we got going on in this art? Oh, this one's a strange art. I'm not real sure why I kept it. I'll keep it for review later. Get it gone. And now I've got these 3-liners. This one looks good on paper, but I don't know. It's a tough call. And I don't use corrosive, so like, do I really want this art? It's so hard. Now this is a nice art. It's not the greatest, but it's nice. It's got damage, shield, and power regen. What can you ask for? What more could you ask for, I should say. I could use more. This one's an okay art, not the greatest. Get rid of it. It's got some potential to it. 3 lines of corrosive plus some energy. Never know. Interesting art. I like that one a little bit. But then again, the problem is I don't do corrosive damage. So keeping some of these is just really strange for me because I don't do corrosive damage. And other times, these arts could be something valuable, and maybe they are, and maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. But I think that's good enough. We can go ahead and erase that. So now, I've cleaned up my arts pretty good here. If I go down, I'm at 217. We were sitting at 248 when we started. And that's basically what I do, is I collect arts. And I go through and I take a review of what to keep during a selection of arts, and I'll keep maybe 4 or 5, And then I'll go back later, like in my free time of playing, when I'm not busy doing missions or busy helping someone. I'm going to go through my arts and take a real good look and review what I have, and then get rid of the stuff I don't need. As you just saw, I had a whole bunch of one-liners in there that I was just cluttering up my arts. I don't need all those. I can get rid of them. So when you guys are looking at your arts, you kind of do the same thing. Find out what your top art is and compare the rest of your arts to your top art, and go down the line and get rid of the crap that you know you'll never going to use, and it's just sitting there in your inventory for no reason. And I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this episode. So thank you all for the wonderful feedback. I've had a lot of requests to do more of these kinds of videos, and I plan on making more art rambling videos. I hope this was helpful to you guys, and happy flying. See you in game.